Hey, Mr. Traeger here, and today I'm here talking to you guys about goals. That's right, my goal for this video is for you to learn about goals. What are some of your goals? I mean, what is it that you want to do? What are your goals for the class that we're in? What are some of your goals for your life? What are some goals for high school? Those are some things you think about. Maybe some of you have thought about that. Maybe some of you haven't really put some thought into it and just thought you kind of just take everything day by day. All right, so what's the deal with this goal setting? Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about that. What is goal setting and how do we put together a good plan to set some goals? All right. So first of all, let's talk about the different types of goals. We have long-term goals and we have short-term goals. Long-term goals are pretty much goals that take a long time to be reached. They're going to be way down the road. All right. This might be like your career. How many kids you're going to have? What you're going to get married or not? Are you going to work with animals? Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a zookeeper? What are some of the things that you want to do down the road? Those are long-term goals, all right? And then we have short-term goals. Short-term goals are more, I wouldn't say in the immediate future, but, are a shorter period of time. Maybe a short-term goal is losing a little bit of weight, or maybe getting a little bit stronger, or maybe being able to run a little faster, maybe to pass a class, or to get a certain GPA, at semester time. Those would be more of the short-term goals, all right? Now, it's important that we have both long-term goals and short-term goals because short-term goals, in a sense, can also help us reach those long-term goals. For example, you want to work at the zoo taking care of alligators, all right? Well, in order to do that, let's say you've got to have some kind of degree in biology, all right? Well, in order to have a degree in biology, you have to graduate from a university that offers that degree. Well, in order to graduate from that university, you got to get it accepted into that college. In order to get accepted into college, you have to graduate from high school. In order to graduate from high school, you have to pass all your classes. So each one of those little checkpoints could be a short-term goal. I want to make sure that I pass all my classes with a B or better. All right, and then I want to make sure that I get into a certain college, and then once I get into that college, I want to make sure that I get into a certain program. In that case, it was biology. Okay, so those are all the different little short-term goals that are along the way. All right. So it's important that we have a little bit of both. We have something we're looking at way down the future. We have something that we're looking at kind of right here and now that's helping us move in that direction. Now, why do we need goals? What's the big deal with goals? Well, first of all, it gives us something to strive for. We wake up in the morning and it gives us something that kind of drives us so that we get our day moving. And I'm going to school because I got to go to school. If I don't go to school, I'm not going to graduate. If I don't graduate, I'm not going to get to college. If I don't get to college, I'm not going to get into my biology degree. And if I don't get my biology degree, I can't feed alligators. All right. So those are some things. That's one important thing in terms of goals. Is gives us something to strive for. Second, there's a sense of order in our lives. There's a we organize our life because we have certain things that we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to do. So it gives us a sense of order where our lives just aren't chaotic. And then it also sets us up for success. It gives us a plan for success. We don't just rely on things to just magically happen to us. All right, we're working towards that. We're putting a plan into place that we know we're working towards this goal in this way. I'm not just waiting for all of a sudden some zoo owner to come up to me and say, hey, how would you like to work with our alligators? All right, we're putting a plan in place that we know is leading us towards that direction. All right. Now, here's some steps for setting up some goals. Now, there's a bunch of them, so I'm going to try to get through these quick. Again, remember I said my goal is for me to teach you guys about goals. So here we go. My short-term goal for right now is to try to get through these 12 steps pretty quick. All right. So first of all, you got to have a desire. All right. You have to set yourself up for something that you want to do. All right. I want to drop some pounds. I want to run a 5K. All right. You have that desire, that want to. Believing in yourself that you can do it. Visualize it. Here's where mental imagery and all that kind of stuff comes in, is visualize yourself. Can I achieve this? Is this something that I can do? Now, sometimes some of those goals we look at and we say, I don't think I can. All right. Maybe that's where we put some more short-term goals in so that we see little bitty successes, and then a whole combination of little bitty successes create big successes down the road. You watch Biggest Loser on TV, and people are losing 100 pounds. Now, when you see them when they first come on to Biggest Loser, they're like, "There's no way I can lose 100 pounds." But 5 pounds here, 2 pounds there, 4 pounds there. All of a sudden, they start to get there. All right, and then all of a sudden they're at 100-pound weight loss, and they're like, "I can't believe I did that." All right, so believing in yourself that you are capable. Where are you now? Analyzing that. Where am I at versus where do I need to go? Because that's definitely going to help set up a timeline. All right. If if I'm trying to lose 100 pounds, it's probably not a good idea for me to say, well, I want to make sure I lose 100 pounds in the next 2 months. All right. If I'm 300 pounds and I want to get down to 190, that's not going to happen in a month. So I have to know where I'm at and where I can, how long it's going to take me to get to my destination in a healthy way. So you got to analyze, where are you, what kind of condition are you in, and what's going on with you now. Set realistic goals. Again, losing 200 pounds in 2 months is not a realistic goal. All right, so make sure it's realistic, that it's possible for me to achieve that. And sometimes we might need to make smaller goals, to make them more realistic, to get up into those goals that maybe I don't see as super realistic. Write the goals down. This is huge. All right, get a note card or get a bunch of note cards. Write that goal down of what you want. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Tape it up at the head of your bed so you see it every night when you go to bed. Tape it in your locker so you see it every time you open that locker to go to the next class. So you're always bombarded with that reminder of what my goal is going to be. All right. Let's say you want to stop eating junk food. All right, you put that on your locker every day when your friends ask you to go to lunch with them to Burger King or whatever. You see that goal and you're like, I think I'll pass today. I brought my lunch, or I'm going to Subway or something like that. All right, so write those goals down and put them places where you can see them. List the benefits that you're going to receive. That's another huge one to keep you motivated. All right, why am I doing this? Because sometimes you're going to have those days where you don't feel like it. That double Whopper sounds pretty good today. All right, but that goal is I'm not going to eat junk food. The benefits are I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to sleep better. I'm not going to have upset stomach. I'm going to have energy. All those kind of benefits, because that's going to help keep us motivated. Number 7, identify any obstacles that you might face. You've got to plan for these because they're going to show up. These obstacles are going to pop up, and you have to have a plan or strategy as to how you're going to deal with it. What happens when your friends are saying, "Oh, just come on, you can get a chicken sandwich there," or those days when you feel stressed and all you want to do is just get a big old shake and suck it down. All right, what are you going to do when that happens? When you feel those urges or those kind of distractions to what that goal is. All right, make sure you plan for those. Think about what are some obstacles that are going to get in my way and how am I going to deal with those, because they're going to happen. If you don't plan for them, they're gonna blindside you and you're not going to see them coming. So plan for those. What kind of education do you need to be able to efficiently and in a healthy way get to those goals? All right, so what do you need to know? If it's you want to do better in a class, what can I learn more about study skills? Maybe I can study better. What's a better way for me to study? How can I take notes better? If it's like in our class for fitness, what do I need to know about nutrition? What do I need to know about how muscles work? What do I need to know about the cardiovascular system so that I can set up a plan for me to be successful? All right, so what kind of knowledge do I need to get that goal achieved? Make an action plan. Write it down. Specific. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to exercise on these days. I'm going to do these things. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm doing cardio. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm doing weights. And on Fridays, I'm doing a combo of both. You have that plan. Here's what I'm going to do, and it's sitting there, right in front of you, that you know exactly what the plan is. Develop a timeline. How long do I have to achieve the goal? Now, let's say you want to run a 5K, that you may not be able to set the time. You know when the time is. A 5K is 3 months from now, let's say. All right. So now I know how long I have. So now I can put my plan in place as to what's the best way for me to get in shape and get ready for that 5K. Because if my 5K is 3 months away versus that 5K is 6 months away, that may change how I try to achieve that goal. All right. So set up that timeline and put checks in, along the way so we can see my progress. Am I making enough progress to be able to achieve that goal at the end of my timeline? Monitor your progress. Write those successes down. Little successes start to add up to big successes down the road. All right. Plus, on those days when you feel discouraged, you don't feel like you're getting anything accomplished, you can go back and look at that chart of those lists when you wrote down, your weight for the last, 5, 6, 7 weeks, and you're like, wow, I didn't remember that I weighed that much when I first started. And look, I've chipped away, 2 pounds here, 3 pounds here, and I have lost some weight, and I can keep going, so I can do this, or my grades are slowly coming up. I don't have any more late assignments. I'm getting to class on time every day. All those things. Those are important to look at to keep you motivated. And lastly, keep going. Just keep going. There's going to be times when you kind of get knocked off the path a little bit, but keep going. Get back on and keep going. Don't let one failure, or a couple failures, or a couple, kind of obstacles completely throw you off of your plan of achieving that goal. All right, just keep at it. Keep working at it. So, in that same mentality, what happens if I don't achieve my goal? That 3 months comes and I'm not ready to compete in that 3K, or the semester comes around, I wanted an A, I got a B. What happens then? Well, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, maybe it's just a matter of adjusting your plan if you still can, or maybe resetting that goal again. Okay, the class is over. I got another class coming. That class I'm going to get an A in, and so now you can adjust that plan as you need to. All right. So just look at that and see if you need to make some adjustments. Were there obstacles that I didn't foresee? You're training for your 5K. You got shin splints. That changed the way that you could run because now you're injured. Okay. So now the next time that 5K rolls around, okay, so there's something I got to learn about. How do I avoid getting shin splints? So I talk to a coach, or I talk to the trainer and say, hey, what can I do to avoid getting shin splints? I change the type of shoes I wear, all those kinds of things. I change the running surface that I train on, and now I can better achieve that goal simply because there were some obstacles I didn't really know about that I wound up having to deal with. So now I can plan for those. Maybe you can readjust your timeline. Maybe 3 months was too short of a time for me to run that 5K, or maybe the amount of time I had 1 quarter wasn't enough time for me to be able to get an A in that class. All right, and readjusting that timeline may allow me more success for that goal. Sometimes revisiting those benefits can help keep us motivated to press on. All right, looking at what was my point for looking at striving for that goal anyway. All right, and we look at those benefits, and that can help remotivate us to keep trying. And then lastly, again, don't give up. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Readjust things. Check for those new obstacles or unforeseen obstacles, and maybe readjusting the timeline. All those things. Just keep going, keep going. Don't quit. Eventually, you'll get there. Anybody who's achieved anything, you talk to any great athlete or maybe some great scientist or anything like that, they'll say they never quit. If you look at the people who made Formula 405, guess why it's called Formula 405? It took 405 tries to get the formula right. They didn't give up. They kept going and kept going and kept going until it was right. All right, so don't give up. So that's what we got about goals. I've got some goals. I know you guys have goals. We're going to be working on these in class. We're going to put them into practice this semester and see what kinds of things we can achieve. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what's going to happen this semester. Before you go, I got a quick little clip. It's about 2 minutes long. It's by Cartooning Genius. I found this one on YouTube, and so I kind of wanted to add it to my my video here to kind of maybe sum up all the things that we've been talking about. So check it out. I have the link right here for the YouTube channel for this guy. It's a pretty cool little clip. So watch that clip, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. All right? All right, that's all I have for you today. This is Mr. Traeger. Hopefully you learned a lot about goals. See you tomorrow.